State scoring 3 times in the final 10 minutes to win 3-0 in leg number 1 as they take on Trinidad and Tobago for the 30th time. It's the first time that the United States has been in Trinidad and Tobago since that fateful night in 2017 when they failed to qualify for the World Cup. Different conditions tonight. Weather looks good, might be a little bit of rain, but in 2017 it was a flood on the field. Difficult conditions for the United States, falling 2-1 in that match. Since that point, they've won 4 in a row, outscoring Trinidad and Tobago 22-0. Here's where the bracket stands right now. It'll be Costa Rica and Panama tonight. Similar situation for Costa Rica, needing to overcome a 3-goal differential. The winners of the second legs and of this 2-leg field will get to the semifinals, and on top of that, get one of the 4 positions for Copa America. The non-advancing clubs will have a chance in a winner-take-all play-in match for the final 2 positions. The United States will try to beat Trinidad and Tobago for the 5th consecutive time tonight. Trinidad and Tobago has a big mountain to climb, but crazier things have happened here in Trinidad and Tobago and in Concacaf Nations League play. In the quarterfinals, the United States and Trinidad and Tobago kick off when we come back. National anthems wrap up here in Port of Spain, the northwestern side of Trinidad and Tobago. The United States return for the first time since 2017 against Trinidad and Tobago, and the Soca Warriors line up like this. They had the red card, the second yellow given to Noah Powder on Thursday, so that means they played with 10 men for a good chunk. They nearly outlasted the United States before the Stars and Stripes scored in the 82nd minute 3 times after that point. But here's how Trinidad and Tobago lights this candle here this evening. It was Alvin Jones scoring the game winner against the U.S. back in that 2017 matchup. Walter Lopez gets the nod tonight as our match official. It is the 8th time that he has officiated a United States matchup. The U.S. unbeaten in its last 3. Their losses came in succession in 2015 and 2016 to Costa Rica and Mexico. And Trinidad and Tobago will try to overcome a 3-goal deficit here today in the second leg. Aubrey David and Tim Ream, the captains for each side, meet with Walter Lopez. Ream wearing the captain's armband for the 10th time in his career, and the Mexicans, Guillermo Pacheco and Eric Miranda, will be our VAR officials here this evening, if we need that at any point here tonight. The U.S. will be in the white uniforms tonight, and here's their starting 11. An average age of 24 years of age, and Tim Ream, the lone holdover from that match in 2017, as the rest of the group very refreshed. How about Ricardo Pepi, making just his second start of the year, has been a terrific sub. 5 times he's scored as a sub this year, but he gets the start for just the second time this year, and the first since the Nation League group stage in March against Grenada. There's the United States, red, white, and blue. Trinidad and Tobago with the red and black uniforms for tonight's matchup, and this should be a good one. How does Trinidad and Tobago come out here tonight against the United States, needing 3 goals to at least force extra time? Anything more than that, the United States could advance with different results here this evening, pending, of course, away goals. Mr. Lopez checks the watch, the whistle blows, the United States light the candle, and for the 30th time, it's U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago here in Concacaf Nations League quarterfinal action. Second leg of this quarterfinal. The United States had a 26-1 shot advantage in that first leg, and Pepi eventually broke through for the U.S. How does Trinidad and Tobago come out of this? A whistle and an early foul. Trinidad and Tobago have never scored 3 or more goals against the U.S. since the first time these clubs ever met back in 1982 in Port of Spain. Turner out to gobble up this ball. Turner, 13th appearance of the year, 4th different U.S. goalkeeper with double-digit appearances in 3 different years. Good atmosphere here. Some United States fans making their way across the concourse as well. Aronson throwing for the United States. Well, much was made on Thursday about the U.S.'s inability to open that goal, but at halftime, Greg Berhalter said to the group, all we need is 1, and then the floodgates will open, and he was very prophetic in that statement as the U.S. scored 3 goals after the 82nd minute for just the 3rd time in the nation's history, and it's the first time ever that they had done so when the opening goal came in the 82nd minute or later. The other times came when they scored 8 goals against the Cayman Islands in 1993 and Barbados in 2008. Here's Balogun. Aronson slows it down. Aronson saved. Smith denies the early chance from the U.S. And coming out of there is Rampersad. Pressure continues from the U.S., but it's chipped away. Aronson did so well there. Looked like perhaps he might ignite the lamp. Here it is again. Aronson, look at this touch. Might have been heavy, but that second touch was the one that ended up big. The danger moment inside of the 18, and it's a good save from Smith in the end. The U.S. denied early. It feels like if the U.S. were able to get a goal in this match, the mountain would be even steeper for Trinidad and Tobago. The Soca Warriors need a 3-0 win to force extra time, 4-0 plus to advance. The U.S. can advance even with a 4-1 loss based off of away goals. A 5-1 loss for the U.S. would mean that Trinidad and Tobago would advance. Balogun measures. Smith again blocks it away. Twice in the last 60 seconds, the U.S. with heavy pressure. And both have come inside of the 18. Smith made 5 saves on Thursday. Robinson, now Ream, did not play in that matchup in 2017. It's a day that many Americans will remember as one of the low points in the country's football history. The U.S. on the road in a wet, soggy matchup against Trinidad and Tobago. That was in Cuba, more southwestern of Trinidad and Tobago. An own goal from the U.S. Omar Gonzalez putting one in the back of his own net, and it was 1-0. Alvin Jones would add one before halftime. Christian Pulisic pulled one back in the opening moments of the second, but the U.S. never could get the equalizer. Results held steady across the region. The U.S. failed to qualify for the World Cup in that match on October 10th, 2017 in Cuba, Trinidad. That's the last time that the U.S. has played a match here. A 2-1 setback. It's the only time that Trinidad and Tobago have scored against the U.S. in the last 10 meetings. And shut out the 9 others. Here's push forward. Gomez denied. James flies it wide left. Curling cross in. Sprawling stop. Cameron Vickers in a corner for the first time in the match, coming for Trinidad and Tobago. Take a look at Angus Eve. 34 goals and 117 career caps with his home country. Here's Alvin Jones, had that game winner in 2017 that eliminated the U.S. from the World Cup. Jones looks for a good service. Bends it around. Turner got a right hand over the top of a Soca Warrior, and Balogun sprints out of there with it. Balogun angling, shifting ball just out of the reach of Luca de la Torre. U.S. very youthful, very exuberant, complete change of the guard. They've won both renditions of the Nations League. As you take a look, Greg Berhalter, the only loss that the U.S. have had in the first 13 appearances came in the group stage in 2019 at Canada in Toronto. 2-0 was the setback in that match. States have only won one time in the last 4 visits to Trinidad and Tobago. That was September 9th of 2009 in Port of Spain. Ricardo Clark scored in the 62nd minute of a 1-0 U.S. win. Aronson able to beat Jones. Aronson wants a booking. Jones instead will get a conversation with Walter Lopez. And the U.S. gets a free kick out of this. Here it is again. Aronson. Jones was right between the numbers. That's a 4-4-2 formation with Pepe and Balogun up top. Gio Reyna scored the final goal in the 89th minute to punctuate the first leg effort. Stands over the top of this and readies. Reyna clips it in, headed down, bangs off bodies. Aronson there. Shot blocked by a leg of Trinidad and Tobago. And a throw in for the U.S. Aronson a little bit slow to get up. It appears as if he's okay. Anthony Robinson prepares to throw. And now we get a whistle. After the fact and a reset. Greg Berhalter said this is not a time to experiment. Reporters asking what his lineup might look like, and the answer is that he makes 3 changes this evening in the starting 11. Luca de la Torre, Brendan Aronson, and Ricardo Pepi all walk onto the pitch. Now Walter Lopez saying that everything okay and ready for the restart of play. Might have had some technical issues. Musa breaking a 3-way tie. The most caps before the age of 21 in U.S. history in this match. Dest. Reyna. Balogun holds onto it. 3 defenders there and a foul whistled. Much to the chagrin of the Soca Warriors. Rian Moore, perhaps the guilty party there. The 27-year-old making his 24th appearance. Scored in that bonkers match against Curacao in the final match of the group stage. And Trinidad and Tobago had been unbeaten in 8 in a row prior to that final match of the group stage. A 5-3 loss to Curacao. 3-0 loss to the U.S. They've lost back-to-back Nations League matches. Musa cuts the edge. Raymond draws the foul. Musa guilty. Musa passing Altidore. Landon Donovan and Christian Pulisic for the most caps before the age of 21. Number 33 this evening. And needs just over an hour to pass Landon Donovan for the most minutes prior to the age of 21. Just past the 10-minute mark, United States and Trinidad and Tobago squaring off in leg number 2 of Concacaf Nations League quarterfinal action. Michael Watchering and our broadcast crew invite you to come in and stay a while with us here on this Monday evening. The U.S. winning 3-0 in the opening leg. Have the inside track to advancing to the semifinals, as well as a 5th Copa America. Bodies tangled up. Dest calmly. De la Torre. Excellent passing. Pepe. Reyna. Flawlessly executed pass right into Dest's sprint, but hovered away by Alvin Jones. Throw incoming for the U.S. Trinidad and Tobago entered just inside of the top 100 in the FIFA rankings. Reason why they drew the U.S. Number 11, Reyna. Wanted to curl it, didn't get the spin on it, goes out of play. It was a surprising start to this tournament, with Panama not just necessarily beating Costa Rica, but doing so 3-0. And Honduras' excellent performance against Mexico, that was 2-0. Canada using a late Stephen Eustachio goal in the 86th minute to beat Jamaica 2-1. Later tonight, it'll be Panama and Costa Rica in the second leg. Tomorrow, Canada, Jamaica kick-started at 7:30 Eastern. Mexico, Honduras at 9:30. Excellent defending again. Jones. Pass just out of the reach initially, but latched onto by Nathaniel James. James circling. James gets the left foot on. Turner, though, grabs it out of the air. Tim Ream gets enough of it to ensure that Turner had time to grab that. And a good sign if you're Trinidad and Tobago. First shot comes here in the 13th minute. Here it is again. See where Ream gets this. Might have stepped too aggressively. And Turner grabs the ball out of the air. And it looks like maybe that left leg for Ream. Ream, the 20th player in U.S. history to captain at least 10 matches. And when he's wearing the armband, Stars and Stripes, 7 wins, a loss and a draw. Tonight, number 10. It's the 11th time these countries have met in the last 14 years. And the 3rd in Port of Spain. Good news for Trinidad and Tobago. The U.S. only scored once in the 2 meetings in Port of Spain in 2009 and 2015. Question, though, for the Soca Warriors, can they score? Can they break down this United States back line? The middle of the park. This is better from Trinidad and Tobago. Aronson cannot hold it up long enough. Daniel Phillips had the angle. Well, palms would get sweaty for the U.S. if Trinidad and Tobago were to score in the opening 25 minutes or so. But here's a giveaway. Reyna has options to choose from here. He selects Aronson. Aronson against Smith. Right there to provide a blockade. Second time that Aronson have found himself loose. And yet again, Smith already his 3rd save in the opening quarter hour of this match. Aronson twice, Balogun once. The U.S. are finding seams, are finding pockets, are getting to dangerous locations. But Smith has the answer now. Reyna boomerangs, middle of the box. Sent away, put to the opposite sideline for another corner by Justin Garcia, the 27-year-old who plays for Defense Force in Trinidad and Tobago. One of the 4 players representing that club on this Trinidad and Tobago squad for this international window. Reyna will try an outswinging ball this time around. Pings it in. Yet again, cannot latch on to a teammate on the initial ball. Aronson, the second phase. De La Torre twirls to the sideline. Smith this time comes out to grab it out of the air. Well, it's been a good start for Denzel Smith, a 24-year-old who plays for Club Sando in Trinidad and Tobago. Playing with 10 men for nearly 60 minutes in the first leg of this quarterfinal. Trinidad and Tobago almost got out of there with some positive vibes, but the U.S. scored 3 times after the 82nd minute in that first leg. Carter Vickers intercepts, and Reyna ensures that it's a throw. So the first time outside of World Cup qualifying that the United States has played a 2-leg affair. They've won their last 4. Most recently it happened in 2010 against Barbados. The U.S. plus 21 in goal differential. During that, four-time winning streak. Here's Robinson. Hefty on that touch, gives it away. But it doesn't cost him at the end of it all. Shannon Gomez punches it away. Well, if you're Trinidad and Tobago, you're confident with how you've come out. The problem being, though, the U.S. still getting the more decisive attacking chances. Aronson cannot get over there in time. Balogun a tad much on it. U.S. was last in Copa America in 2016. Finished fourth. That's their best ever finish. Also did so in 1995. Into the group stage in 93 and 2007. And if this result holds, the U.S. would punch a ticket to a fifth Copa America and be the first team out of Nations League in Concacaf to advance of the 6 spots available. Window will host the semifinals, third place match and final. That'll all take place at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. The play-in matches will be at Toyota Stadium, home of MLS's FC Dallas in Frisco, Texas. De La Torre overruns it and eventually coming back to rescue is Rampersad. Angle not right that time from Phillips, the 22-year-old. Plays in Scotland. Andre Raymond plays in Portugal. It is a good mix for Trinidad and Tobago. Some youth out there, some experience. Musa cannot hold on to it. Robinson, though, interjects. Takes it away from Rampersad. Now with a man down. U.S. attacking half. Robinson sends it away. Aronson, and again, comes up a little bit short. He took some contact down inside of his own box earlier. Here's another look at it. For the restart, Matt Turner trying to turn things up a notch. Atmosphere is great here at Hasely Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. Robinson carries it forward, takes a tumble, draws the foul, and a free kick coming for the U.S. Into the 22nd minute. U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago scoreless here in the second leg after the U.S. won it 3-0 in leg number 1. The winner advances to the Concacaf Nations League semifinals and punches a ticket to Copa America, while the loser will settle for a play-in game to get one of the final 2 spaces in Copa America in 2024. Smith already made 3 saves in this one. Gio Reyna has scored in back-to-back matches, 3 goals in that stretch. Reyna elects to pass this one through. Balogun turns. And a foul whistled on Balogun. And once again, Aronson is down inside of the box. Again, takes one below the belt. Here it is again. number 11. Let's see where he gets knocked, and certainly looks like it's a boot to the area that you'd prefer not to get hit. Aronson taking his bumps and bruises. Doesn't prevent him from causing a turnover from Trinidad and Tobago and a throw for the U.S. They scored quicker in this one. Aronson in a good position. Robinson hits it first time. Smith plenty of time to come out. Tackles his own player who was in his way and picks it up. The U.S. have been known for late scoring this year. 8 times they've scored after the 82nd minute in 2023. It's the third most after that duration of time in the history of the country. Here it is again. Smith coming out. His teammate right in his way. Justin Garcia, the 27-year-old, who has scored in this tournament. 71st minute strike at El Salvador in September that proved to be a game winner. '30th matchup between these countries. The U.S. have scored at least 2 goals 17 times, including each of the last 4. And if they win tonight, it'd be the first time that they've beaten Trinidad and Tobago in at least 5 consecutive matches in the series history. They've done so 4 times now, thrice. In the 90s and in the mid-2000s, it has occurred. And this current stretch, they've outscored the Soca Warriors 22-0. Musa. Dest. Eyes the targets forward. Pepe. Robinson. Aronson. And again, a giveaway. James the target. Ream clears it up. Musa. That was flawlessly executed. Pepe. De La Torre. U.S. having fun now in possession. Ball movement, flawless. Rena. And Dest. Does it lead to anything? Dest curling it in. Knotted down! What a winning header that was! Anthony Robinson steps in front of a defender. He scores for the 2nd consecutive leg. The U.S. won. Trinidad and Tobago 0. The passing and the build-up, perfect. Des with a great service. Robinson wins the header, stepping right in front of Shannon Gomez. And it's the 4th goal of his U.S. tenure for Anthony Robinson, and 2nd in as many matches. The passing, the United States, you could tell, was feeling confident. They felt really good about that sequence and that stretch. And with that goal, the only chance that Trinidad and Tobago can advance is with a 5-1 win or better. There it is again. Gomez getting up, and just before the knee gets there, Robinson with a great goal. Even a 4-1 win now for Trinidad and Tobago would not be enough, because you would go to away goals. So the U.S. stranglehold expands its grasp now, swallowing up Trinidad and Tobago. Just when it felt like the Soca Warriors were playing fairly confidently, Yet again, the U.S. scores, and it's an early one tonight, perhaps leaving out the drama of Thursday. Although, can there be an early response? James sprinting forward more. Well-targeted pass all the way across. Musa sends it away. Robinson. Balogun comes back. Aronson weaves through two. Reyna under a great deal of stress, and yet again, the U.S. has been so confident. Their passing has been pinpoint. They passed at a 90% rate, nearly 700 completed passes in the first leg. Tripled up Trinidad and Tobago's targets. Pepe making the run into space. Aubrey David, over 70 career caps for Trinidad and Tobago, the team captain, clears to midfield. How about Anthony Robinson? Named Jedi. Here's a sprint for De La Torre. He's looking for Balogun. Robinson has scored twice in as many matches against Trinidad and Tobago. Soca Warriors staring down the barrel of a confident and strong United States team, eyeing a third consecutive championship in Nations League action. U.S. coming out on top earlier this year, 2-0 against Canada. Richards and Balogun scoring in the first half of that match. Reyna again ready to deliver a corner. Reyna barrels it in. U.S. haven't connected on those, but second phases have been challenging. Pepe goes down. There's no foul or penalty to be whistled. And now a counter-attacking moment. Dest doesn't take any chances, sends it away. Aronson brings it down but slips, and that allows Trinidad and Tobago to find some real estate. Here's Gill. Gill brings it down. James gets it back. Taken off of his feet, Phillips. Out wide, Raymond. Shovel it away. This is the best sustained pressure from the Soca Warriors. Gomez. Access denied there. And here comes Balogun and company on the counter. No real numbers here for the Stars and Stripes. Balogun sensing that, leaves it for Aronson, and now the U.S. brings some men forward. Dest, who had the service on the Robinson goal moments ago, slowly trots into space. A third of the way through the second leg of the quarterfinals of the 2023-24 Concacaf Nations League. The U.S. 1-0 tonight, 4-0 on aggregate, inching closer to a Copa America berth. Michael Watring and our crew, delighted to have you on board here this evening. James, inside of the box. Is he the last man to touch it, or was it Robinson? It was James. He will not win the argument. It looked like Robinson got a piece. Here it is again. This will show us the best angle. Absolutely, Robinson got the piece. It should be a Trinidad and Tobago corner. Well, the ball doesn't bounce your way. Moments like that showcase difficulties Trinidad and Tobago have had. Now is Walter Lopez going to override that? He's not. He said that he was having a conversation in his ear with his officiating crew. Turner looking for a 24th shutout tonight, with Ty Brad Friedel for 4th among U.S. goalkeepers. David interjects here. Balogun. It's an empty space. Robinson. Pepe. Aronson would have had a lot of green grass rather in front of him. Instead, Musa is called for the foul after the giveaway. More for Trinidad and Tobago. Here's Phillips. Gomez. Melvin Jones. Ream measures. And then Musa decides just to nod it right back to Turner. The U.S. with patience. 34 years ago yesterday, one of the most significant moments in U.S. history happened in Trinidad and Tobago. Paul Caligiuri and the shot heard round the world, giving the U.S. a 1-0 win on the final day of qualifying for the 1990 World Cup. He spoke with the team yesterday. Here's a shot attempt that's blocked. Balogun brings it down. Balogun slides, wants a foul, but it goes away. The U.S. qualified for the World Cup for the first time in 40 years, ending that drought. And Caligiuri was able to speak with the team prior to the match on Thursday. Here it is again. Looks like maybe Balogun would have been ruled offside regardless. The flag didn't go up. Would have been an interesting conversation to have, but we've seen a lot of that in this match. Stumbling and inability to keep the footing on this surface. United States won. Trinidad and Tobago nil. Anthony Robinson in the 26th minute has the U.S. out in front. The U.S. would be the first team out of Concacaf to get a chance at the Copa America. 3 more slots to be decided over the next 24 hours or so. This is around the time on Thursday that the match turned on its head. Noah Powder picked up a second yellow. Trinidad and Tobago were forced to play with just 10 men the rest of the way, and they nearly got out of Austin, Texas, with a lot of pressure on the United States' shoulders. The Stars and Stripes scored 3 times in the final 10 minutes. Dest. Reyna. Reyna! First time shot. Gets blocked by David out. Corner kick coming. U.S. That was the initial decision from Walter Lopez. Here it is again. And now looking at that, it doesn't look like David did get a piece of it. This might be a better angle. Reyna was patient, was waiting. And they do officially rule that it's a goal kick after initially Lopez pointed toward the corner flag. What a 2-leg stretch it has been for Anthony Robinson. Assisted on Ricardo Pepe's goal in the 82nd minute, scored in the 86th of the first leg. And he scored in this one in the 26th minute. Reyna can shoot from there, instead selects Dest. Musa. Robinson swings this one around. Pepe, the closest man in white. Dest falls over this one. Wanted a foul. Maybe arguing with the wrong official. The assistant had the better angle. Robinson had not scored for the U.S. in his first 37 career appearances. He's now scored twice in his last 2. U.S. have played confident. They've been strong. Trinidad Tobago found some attacking moments, and Dest sends that one away. And I would imagine he's going to get a card for this. And indeed, Walter Lopez is walking over there. Dest has his conversation to be said. Teammates trying to bring him away. Dest still having more to say. Arena saying stop. And there is the flag. And Dest even more on his mind after that. Tim Ream, the captain, putting Dest away right now. Matt Turner indeed saying the exact same thing. Not worth it at that point. Here it is again, right along the sideline. It looks like from that angle it did go out. Dest with a very significant and lengthy argument. He gets booked. Now Matt Turner yelling at Serginho Dest to get off the field. So after all that, Dest got the yellow initially and then picked up a red after that. So Dest sent off, and that makes things interesting as the U.S. will now be down to 10 men the rest of the way. Dest, who had the beautiful pass, picking out Anthony Robinson. Just had one too many sentences for Walter Lopez. And that perhaps injects some energy into the Trinidad and Tobago side. How does Greg Berhalter respond to that? Anthony Robinson had it for a moment, and then a foul whistled on Balogun. Here it is again, Dest. This was just the start of it when he kicked the ball into the bleachers, and that was always going to get the yellow, but then he conversed even longer and just could not walk away. Pepe, Balogun out of his reach. His teammates just could not get Dest away in time to avoid anything more than just the booking. Initial of yellow. Red card shown. Dest out. U.S. controlling this match. 7 shots to 1 right now. Seemingly in control. And now the U.S. will indeed make a change. They're going to bring in Joe Scally, the 21-year-old defender, making his 8th appearance. There's Dest. That's the infraction that'll earn him a yellow every day of the week. And then after the fact, just could not stop. Just couldn't contain himself, despite Gio Reyna trying to bring him over. And now Joe Scally from Lake Grove, New York, walks onto the field. And the first substitution that the U.S. makes is defensive-minded, bringing Reyna off. He will not score for a 3rd consecutive match. U.S. down to 10 men here in this quarterfinal second leg. They're in firm control, 4-0 on aggregate and the away goal. But here's some dangerous moments. And that slides in, and Jamaica have equalized. Or check that, Trinidad and Tobago have equalized. Ryan Moore beats Matt Turner near post. And what a change of events it is here. With the U.S. down to 10 men, Trinidad and Tobago have life. Here it is again. It is a long ball from Jones. Moore out muscles Cameron Vickers. And how does that ball find its way in past Turner? Maybe Turner lost a little bit of an edge on the cleat. Nevertheless, great goal for Moore, who scores for the second time in this tournament. And the U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago on equal terms in the second leg. But Trinidad and Tobago need 4 more and keep the U.S. off the board if they want to advance. The U.S. could advance with a 4-1 loss. Anything more than that, it would be Trinidad and Tobago in a shocking turn of events. With the U.S. down to 10 men, you have to wonder what the U.S. is going to do the rest of the way as Scally gets taken out. Here it is again. It's not just the slide tackle, but it's the ability to get up there by Phillips that forces the infraction. Anthony Robinson. Pepe. Brings it back, De La Torre. Musa. U.S. regained the lead. Down to 10 men. All equal here at 1 apiece. They're winless in 3 of the last 4 visits to Trinidad and Tobago. There's a giveaway. And here comes Trinidad and Tobago. Surging. It's James. Who touches this one last? And it's a goal kick. James, the last man to touch it. It looked like he had a seam and an angle. And you talk about a 10-minute window that could have completely changed the complexion of this matchup. There it is again. Let's take another look from this angle. It's James' left foot after Ream came over. 4 additional minutes here in the first half. The U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago tied at 1. But the U.S. still with that 3-goal edge, plus the away goal now on aggregate in this 2-legged quarterfinal. Balogun called for the foul. Rempersat hands it over for Alvin Jones. There's it deep down the field. We'll pick it up. We're a quarter of the way through. First half stoppage time. United States 1, Trinidad and Tobago 1. Here in the second leg of the quarterfinal. The U.S. down to 10 men after Trinidad and Tobago were down to 10 in the first leg. Michael Watring and our crew here in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, watching this one as energy has been infused here to Hasely Crawford Stadium. Robinson, Balogun, back to Robinson, retreats under a hefty amount of pressure. Turner sends it away. Robinson. That's playing keep away now. Perhaps game plan changing slightly for the Stars and Stripes. It'll be a very interesting halftime locker room. The U.S. had shut out Trinidad and Tobago in 4 consecutive matches. It's the first time the Soca Warriors have scored since 2017. In fact, the U.S. had held clean sheets in 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two countries. Aronson has been quiet in the last several minutes. So hooks one around for De La Torre. Elevated our United States to adding a goal before halftime. Or do they just get into the locker room and have a break? These tumble into each other. Musa eventually on it. Hopefully a minute or so left here in the first half. Now Trinidad and Tobago, despite having a man advantage in this one, able to grab the ball. Excellent work here. James is asking more to wait. Cameron Carter Vickers rather, steps over to intercede. Musa. It certainly looks like the U.S. just wants to get into the locker room, tied at 1 apiece. Ream. Hold on to it. Make Walter Lopez make the choice on when to blow his whistle. Robinson, Aronson, and there is your first half whistle. Well, it was a strong opening half hour for the U.S., but things have gotten interesting now as the United States concedes late in the first half and is down to 10 men after Serginho Dest picks up a red card. And the second half gets that much more interesting. The United States won, Trinidad and Tobago won at halftime of the quarterfinals of leg number 2 of the Concacaf Nations League. Tied at 1, we'll have the highlights and assess things where we stand after 45 when we come back to Port of Spain.
Miscellaneous marketing limited, 63 Lounge on the Avenue, and Jade Monkey Bar, Tobago. To list the best moments of Concacaf games and tournaments.
Getting ready to start off the second half here in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. The United States in the driver's seat to advancing to a Copa America as well as the Concacaf Nations League semifinals, but the U.S. down to 10 men the rest of the way. And Trinidad and Tobago and the U.S. tied at 1 apiece in this matchup. The U.S. have only won one time in their last 4 visits to Trinidad and Tobago. That was September 9th of 2009, a 1-0 victory here in Port of Spain. It'll be fascinating to see how the U.S. plays this one out. They were more than content with keeping the ball away from Trinidad and Tobago at the end of the first half. Now the question for Trinidad and Tobago, can they find more offensive firepower? They were tied with Jamaica during the group stage for the most goals, and they could use some offensive scoring punch here in this second half to make things interesting. And the United States fans nervous in half number 2. It will be Trinidad and Tobago to kick things off here in the second half. The United States have 5 draws out of their first 17 matches of the year. They've won 10 times. 14th time in country's history they've won double-digit matches. Whistle blows, and Trinidad and Tobago's comeback continues here in the second half. And can the U.S. deny that and walk out of here with a better feeling than they did the last time that they were in Trinidad and Tobago in October of 2017? Falling 2-1. Here's a pounding cross in. Raymond fell to the ground. De La Torre doesn't clear it very well. Winds up on the feet of Raymond. Vickers sends it over to the sideline. Scally gets it away. And perhaps this is what Trinidad and Tobago thinking. 4-1 doesn't do it for the Soca Warriors. Has to be 5-1, so they need 4 second half goals to advance and keep the U.S. off the scoreboard. What chances will there be for the U.S. on counterattacks? Ball sent away and out. The U.S. have never lost by multiple goals to Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, they've only given up multiple goals to Trinidad and Tobago 3 times. 2-1 losses in 2017 and 2008, and a 3-2 win in 1996. Trinidad and Tobago only scored 12 times against the U.S. in 29 meetings. And their shot sent over everything, and will nail the U.S. out. Daniel James, 19 years old, plays for Mount Pleasant in Jamaica. Look at that one, sent out. Game winners against Curacao and Guatemala in the group stage. Turner will not get a clean sheet tonight, so he'll need to wait at least one more match to match Brad Friedel's mark of 24 shutouts for the 4th most in U.S. history. The U.S. have only lost once this year. If the U.S. were to win tonight, he would become just the first U.S. men's national team keeper to win at least 9 matches in a calendar year. Team record this year, 8-1-3. Last won 10 of his 13 starts in 2021. Gomez pounds the pavement. James gets past Musa. James to the wide side. Raymond, first time ball in. Turner out to the top of the 6. Wanted a more aggressive run. Did Raymond that time. Anthony Robinson on it. Has the goal for the U.S. in this match. 26-minute score. Maligan. It's a throw for the U.S. On the second leg of Costa Rica and Panama, just about an hour away from kick. How about Panama's performance? That is a tightly contested match. Panama getting the match at home, Estadio Romel Fernandez, just about an hour after Panama scored twice in the first 30 minutes. Cecilio Waterman added one in the 60th minute. U.S. in the whites, Trinidad and Tobago in the red and the blacks here. Second leg action, the U.S. out in front, 4-1 on aggregate. Tied 1-1 here in this second leg with our broadcast crew. Michael Watring with you here in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago for the Nations League quarterfinals. Carter Vickers sends it right back where it came from, and Rampersad able to hold on to it, and Turner will wait for some pressure for more before he picks it up. And the U.S. will be keen to the timing. Tomorrow should be a fascinating day as well, with Canada in Toronto hosting Jamaica. And then Estadio Azteca will get a matchup against Honduras, with the Mexicans needing to overcome a 2-0 loss in the first leg. The U.S. don't need a win. They don't need another goal either. They just need to prevent goals at this point. 1-1 would be more than enough for this team to advance to the semifinals and keep their hopes of winning a third consecutive Concacaf Nations League championship intact. Alvin Jones ships it backwards. Smith, 40 more minutes to go here in Port of Spain. Garcia sends it to this sideline. Trinidad and Tobago hadn't lost a match since last June in Nations League play, when they lost at Nicaragua 2-1. De La Torre is called for the foul. And Real Gil asking for more than that. But Trinidad and Tobago have dropped back-to-back matches after an 8-match unbeaten string. And how big do those 3 goals that the U.S. scored in the final 10 minutes of the first leg loom now? Trinidad and Tobago trying to do what the U.S. did, and that's score 3 second-half goals. But even then, it wouldn't be enough. U.S. could advance, losing 4-1. It's 5-1 or more, in which they would not be able to do so because of the away goal that the U.S. have scored in this one. Tim Ream, Anthony Robinson, Walter Lopez having the chat. I mentioned last time he officiated a U.S. match was in July of this year in the Gold Cup. The U.S. drew against Panama. They beat Jamaica in 2017, 2-1 the last time that Walter Lopez was the official for a U.S. match. The U.S. 4 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, when Walter Lopez is the official. The U.S. more than content with watching the clock bleed away. Matt Turner trying to set up his wall in front of him. Pepe, Ream, Carter Vickers, Robinson, James, and Alvin Jones ready. Who will it be? It is James. And it goes right into the white jerseys of the U.S. and out for a corner. And Trinidad and Tobago will have another chance to reset. Well, Greg Berhalter was insistent that this match would not be an experimental time. Being down to 10 men, he can certainly not mess with anything now. Pepe, the man that took the block. And now Alvin Jones, a Caribbean Cup champion twice with Western Connection in the mid-2010s, prepares for this. Second ball looped back in, flagged out. Jones pummels in. Turner grabs it. And the U.S. takes some time off the clock to reset. Scally, who came on for Gio Reyna in the first half after Des picked up the red card. This is a fine turn. Rampersad, Raymond. Into the box this goes. Carter Vickers sends it back where it came from. Phillips circles. Phillips wide left. Looked good, certainly from the sideline. But Matt Turner really not asked to do much. Another look at it. Hit the ball well. Turner had that near post covered. If he could have gone to the opposite post, might have been a little trickier, and you see it there, a couple yards wide at the end of it all. The U.S. looking to get to Copa America for the 5th time in the country's history. They continue this upward trajectory of a youthful group that averaged less than 24 and a half years of age in the starting 11 tonight. Memories of 2017 intervening inside of the U.S.'s head. Balogun ends up with Robinson. Balogun continues the run. David steps in front. And Balogun the last to touch. Goal kick. Such a fascinating dichotomy for the United States in Trinidad and Tobago. You have that 1989 match 34 years ago yesterday. When the U.S. ended a 40-year drought of World Cup qualification, winning 1-0 on the shot heard around the world. Paul Caliguri's long distance attempt with the left foot. Got the U.S. in with a 1-0 win into the 1990 World Cup, ending that long drought. Aronson guilty on this foul. And then World Cup qualifying's last day back in 2017, the U.S. fell behind 2-0 and couldn't crawl out of it, losing 2-1. And with results happening elsewhere in the region, a couple others didn't go the U.S.'s way. The U.S. eliminated from the 2018 World Cup contention. The highest of highs for this country in Trinidad and Tobago, the lowest of lows. Will tonight be the middle ground? Will it be a sigh of relief at the end of the night? Will Trinidad and Tobago continue to force things? Here's Jones sending it in. Turner punches, but it goes in. Alvin Jones strikes again against the United States. And Trinidad and Tobago have scored twice in the last 15 minutes and have a life. 2-1, and the comeback continues for the Soca Warriors. What a blast this was from Alvin Jones. Turner punched it, but couldn't get it over the bar. That ball was hammered, and Turner cannot stop it. Jones, who had the game winner on that night in 2017, scores again. 6th time he's scored for his country. And now the U.S. finds themselves behind. Alvin Jones sending this one into a frenzy. And there's still plenty of time left in this one. And now you wonder what kind of changes will Greg Berhalter make. Musa. Aronson. And now Anthony Robinson joins the fray. U.S. lost to Germany in a friendly last month. They lost to Panama. Gold Cup semifinals on penalties in July. Surrounding that are 7 United States wins. And My, how things have changed. Balogun stumbles and sends it away. My, how things have changed here. Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. United States under the pressure. These are the growing moments that Greg Berhalter's been requesting from his group. How do you handle matches like these? U.S. corner, Brendan Aronson will eye his targets. Trinidad and Tobago have scored back-to-back goals after falling behind 1-0. Aronson sends this one into the box, nodded away. Anthony Robinson cannot bring it down. Long ball sent forward. Is Turner coming out? He's not. James has space. Nathaniel James would have wanted to do better there at the end of it all. And that's going to be a moment that certainly Trinidad and Tobago will be thinking about at the end of the night. What a counter, catching the U.S. exposed. Can't even put it on target in the end. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago letting the U.S. know that they are here. A couple times James has had angles. A couple times that he's unable to put a shot on target. We hit the 1 hour mark of this match. Trinidad and Tobago 2, United States 1. The U.S. down to 10 men after Serginho Dest was sent off in the 40th minute. The U.S. led 1-0 at that point. Since then, Moore and Jones have scored for Trinidad and Tobago. And the United States still with a couple goal buffer to advance to the semifinals. A 4-1 loss would not be the end of it for the U.S. 3-0 in the first leg, and the away goal today. U.S. down by a goal, and now we'll get our first change for Trinidad and Tobago here this evening. Ryan Telfer coming on, and Riel Gill coming off. Telfer, 25 years of old, plays in the USL Championship in the U.S. for Miami FC. Aronson retreats. Can't get there in time. Here's a shot. Maybe ambitious that time around from Shannon Gomez. Gomez, a member of San Antonio, also in the USL Championship. And this ball, I think he sensed that there wasn't a lot of help there. Maybe he was just trying to get a corner out of it at the end of it all. Wasn't able to do so. U.S. have taken just one shot in the second half. There have been 5 from Trinidad and Tobago. Matt Turner takes this ball. This is just the 4th time that Trinidad and Tobago have scored multiple goals in now the 30th meeting between the two countries. Berhalter has a change preparing. Malik Tillman will be coming on for the U.S. at the next opportunity. 21-year-old midfielder from Germany. Bringing more of the target. Musa punches it forward. Intercepted though by Phillips. U.S. collect themselves. Looking at some of the chatter on social media at halftime. Fans talking about the nightmares that have occurred here in Trinidad and Tobago for the United States. And the script has not gone according to plan for the Stars and Stripes. Telfer sends it away alertly, avoiding a goal kick and forcing the United States deep inside its own territory to take a throw. Now the United States will make that change. So Pepe is coming out. And a man known for his ability as a substitute. We'll see his shift come to an end. Pepe, 5 goals this year off of the bench as a sub, the most in U.S. men's national team history. It will be Malik Tillman coming on. Plays in the Netherlands for PSV Eindhoven. Eighth cap for Tillman. And Pepe, who had scored roughly 2 goals per 90 minutes, comes out. As we wind to the 65th minute, Yunus Musa has passed Landon Donovan for the most minutes played before the age of 21 in U.S. men's national team history. Turner parries this ball away. Scally taken out. And Ian Moore saying that there shouldn't have been anything there. Musa 9 days before his 21st birthday will do that. Another look at this. It's a good shot. Turner decisive at the end of it all. Knew that there is nobody on that side of the field, not taking any chances. Sends it away. 25 nerve-wracking moments for the U.S. to go. And it certainly feels like for Trinidad and Tobago, they're playing with house money right now. And they can play confidently. And the U.S. being down to 10 men for the last 25 minutes have struggled to find any kind of creativity in their attacking half. Continuing to defend. They've used 2 changes so far. One forced when Dest was sent off with his 2nd yellow, really just for arguing at the end of it all. Could have just walked away, and that has put the United States in this position. The U.S. cannot concede 3 more times though. Still with a little bit of breathing room in this one. But Trinidad and Tobago have made this super interesting. Aronson avoids a defender, and in doing so gets taken out, draws the foul. And it looks like, or will it? Like Walter Lopez was considering a booking. Instead, it's just a quick chat, and he walks away. For the restart. I'm sure the U.S. at this point would like just an equalizer of some kind. Trying to gain that confidence back. Here's a giveaway though. Phillips. Rampersad. Phillips turns it down the sideline. Scally sends it away. What a difference this has made. What a story this 2-legged effort will tell. The U.S. getting the man advantage for 50+ minutes in the first leg, scoring 3 times in the final 10 minutes, winning it 3-0. Felt like the U.S. were dominant, were firmly in control when Anthony Robinson scored in the 26th minute of this match. And then Serginho Dest sent off with a 2nd yellow. Now 15 minutes later, Moore stumbles. He was the man that scored in the 43rd minute to give Trinidad and Tobago a heartbeat. A second half goal in the 57th minute on a free kick from Alvin Jones, one of the better ones you'll ever see. Here's Balogun. Foul is whistled, and it's on Balogun. been a frustrating night for Lauren Balogun, the 22-year-old who elected to play for the United States. Has 3 goals and 2 assists since his debut earlier this year. And at 2-1 now, and the U.S. down to 10 men. Time very much on the U.S.'s side. Questions will become, even with a loss tonight, there's something positive to take away from how the men on the field were able to see this one out, understanding that all you needed was to get out of here and advance to the semifinals, but it'll be a long window of time between now and the semis in March for the U.S. to digest this night. If it falls at 2-1, the self-inflicted mistakes that the Americans have made. Aronson and now Musa. Turned 21 in 9 days. Scally, Turner. All he does is slice it away. Tillman taken out, draws the foul, and the U.S. will take some time off the clock. The U.S. had scored 23 unanswered goals. Check that, actually 24 unanswered goals against Trinidad and Tobago since the first half goal from Alvin Jones in October of 2017. But here in the 70th minute, the U.S. trail 1-0 to Trinidad and Tobago. Still ahead on aggregate, 4-2. And with the away goal, an added buffer here on this evening. With our broadcast crew, Michael Watchering with you. Grateful to have you on board here tonight in the Concacaf Nations League quarterfinals. The United States trails by a goal in this match, but up by 2 and an away goal on aggregate in the second leg. The first of 4 second legs over the next 24 hours. Later tonight, it'll be Costa Rica and Panama, roughly 45 minutes from kick there. Smith made a couple really big saves in the first 15 minutes. Gets that one away. Tillman provides pressure against David. Touched this ball last, and it indeed was. Andre Raymond and the U.S. get a corner, all because of the substitute Malik Tillman's effort along the sideline. Now can the U.S. capitalize? Nobody for the United States over there. And now they bring Brendan Aronson across the field to take this corner kick. Aronson, 23 years of age. His brother Paxton on the bench tonight. Let's see where Aronson goes with this. Precious moments ticking off for Trinidad and Tobago. And again, another whistle. Looks like Lauren Balogun mixing it up there. And now he's squinting his eyes, asking, what did I do wrong? And now Aronson readies. Aronson boomerangs it outward. Nobody in white there. Carter Vickers gets to the second ball. Aronson. Tillman holds onto it for just a moment, but again, some slippage on the turf. Tillman touches it last. Throw in for Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder what the reaction will be back in the States following this evening. The U.S. have been great at scoring late in matches. The odds of pulling out a win with just 10 men here tonight, very low. And now, squirming in their seats back in the United States. Just a 2-goal advantage right now on aggregate. Raymond, Minnesota Warriors, continues along his run. James, he's had a couple really good chances in this match. Shoots it across the field. Trinidad and Tobago trying to get another goal here to make this quite the dash to the finish line. Garcia. Last defending. I wonder when Greg Berhalter will use a couple more changes to shift things up top. Pepe's already come out. Balogun get the full 90 tonight. Ream steady with his header. The Fulham captain. Robinson swings it away. Tillman gives chase, and Tillman wins the race and wins the foul. No, he does not. It looked like it was going to be a whistle there. Instead, none come from Walter Lopez. Dwayne Muckett and Malcolm Shaw, two forwards, standing by the fourth official right now for Trinidad and Tobago, as they try to make this a mad dash in the final quarter hour. Here's Balogun. Wants a foul again, and again will not get the call. And this time, he's the guilty. Tillman drops it back. Musa. Aronson. Oh, a lot of space there, and a foul whistled. The United States will get a free kick. Here it is again. Going down. Daniel Phillips coming in from the back. The United States showing right now that desire to get forward, not very high. And just as I say that, Robinson decides to make sure that Smith's still alert. Here's De La Torre. Balogun holds it up. Got to push that back despite three defenders on him. Aronson. Robinson overlaps. Robinson hits it first time. Scally juggles. Goes down, asking for a foul. The United States questioning the same. And now a foul is given. When the United States showing that they were not going to seek the advantage. So three changes for Trinidad and Tobago. Muckett, Shaw, and Christian Liam all come in. James, Moore are coming out, as well as Daniel Phillips. So three changes all here in the 77th minute. Balogun once again getting yanked, and this time he does draw the foul. He's been bodied, he's been shoved, he's been tugged on. So many different infractions that he expects to get a whistle on, and gets another one here. See the contact there from Christian Liam. Balogun has put in a rugged shift tonight. Tensing up on that left shoulder. Anthony Robinson into the 18. Tillman wants a penalty. The United States will not get that whistle. Carter Vickers kept that in play. Has to pop back up. And Scally commits the foul. He's going to get booked here as well. Another look at it there. Aronson. Balogun. And they bring this ball back. The United States have won this tournament twice. It all started when the U.S. took down Mexico in extra time in 2020. Christian Pulisic had the game-winning penalty kick in the 114th minute of that match. Less theatric earlier this year to cap out the 2022-23 championship. And here's a booking given to Dwayne Muckett. Chris Richards and Lauren Balogun scoring in the 12th and 34th minutes, respectively. Gave the U.S. a 2-0 win against Canada. And the U.S. have won both Concacaf Nations League titles. The U.S. trail by 1 in this one, but still with a 2-goal lead on aggregate. Tim Ream waiting for a decision here. Shifts it over. Tillman. De La Torre sends it off of a Soca Warrior. The U.S. have tightened things up a little bit. Last conceded 23 minutes ago after doing so twice in a quarter-hour span, spanning the halves. Scally. Looks for Balogun. Balogun's done a good job drawing fouls here in the last 10 minutes. And yet again, keeps the U.S. in possession. Here's Scally. Twisting, turning, stopping. And it's sent out. U.S. more than eager to try to hold the ball down in this corner. Scally gets it right back from Tillman. Here's De La Torre. Tillman. De La Torre. Balogun. Kind of gotten his hand up there against David. And he immediately went to the Trinidad and Tobago captain, wanting to apologize for an errant arm. After Trinidad and Tobago is limited to just 1 total shot in the first leg and outshot 26-1. Both sides have 8 shots here this evening. It's been similar tales between the legs. Just different characters taking place in those tales. The United States getting a red card. Serginho Dest sets off in the 40th minute rather. And then scoring 3 times after the 82nd minute. And that's where we sit right now. 83rd minute, Trinidad and Tobago 2, United States 1 here in the Concacaf Nations League quarterfinals. The U.S. 4-2 leaders on aggregate with the away goal in their pocket. And with 7 minutes plus stoppage time left, Trinidad and Tobago need goals, and they need them quick. Michael Watchung and our crew with you. Good to have you on board here this evening. Still to come tonight, Costa Rica travels to Panama. Kickoff in about a half hour. US will be glad to watch passes go east and west and back towards that goal. Halligan was just given a yellow card moments ago. Garcia. Bucket. Intended target. That time was Malcolm Shaw. Wasn't going to get there. Now Matt Turner forced Trinidad and Tobago to come get him before he picks it up just inside of the chalk. It'll be a bit of a frustrating night for Matt Turner. The U.S. had held clean sheets in 4 of the last 5 overall matches. The 3 goals to Germany in October. And that story, similar to this one, Christian Pulisic scored in the 27th minute. And then the Germans scored thrice in the span of 22 minutes. Halligan able to hold on to it. Torre commits the foul. Good balance there by Dwayne Muckett. He played collegiately in the United States and South Florida. That ball headed into the air, and that was perfectly timed for Mareem. Otherwise, Ryan Telfer would have had some space. Robinson, the goal scorer for the U.S. 26th minute, felt like this would be a breeze for the Americans. A 1-0 lead, 4-0 on aggregate. And the red card to Dest. And the U.S. worked significantly harder than perhaps they expected this evening. Foul is whistled on Trinidad and Tobago. For just a moment, the home fans here in Port of Spain thought that maybe they were going to get another lifeline. Here it is again. Scally coming back. Let's see it. Yeah, you can see it there. Left hand on the bottom of the jersey of Scally. Shaw trying to embellish. Tillman. That's fine footwork there. And now a one-on-one battle. Ream and Telfer, and it's Telfer, the guilty party, against the U.S. captain. Well, the U.S. has only won one time in the last 4 meetings here. That's when Ricardo Clark scored in the 62nd minute in September of 2009. And if this result holds, the Americans would make it 4 of the last 5 trips to Trinidad and Tobago. Coming up either with a draw or on the short end of the stick. Anthony Robinson spins it in. Smith brings it down. 88th minute. Glimmer of hope that Trinidad and Tobago had roughly a half hour ago starting to diminish. Aronson brings it around. Great run here from Aronson. David rejects. The U.S. have only used 2 changes. 1 mandated because Dest was sent off. They needed the extra defender out there. Reyna coming out. And then also bringing in Malik Tillman, but it looks like Lenny Maloney is by the fourth official. The U.S. would add another man to the attack. A fresh set of legs for the stretch run. And the question becomes, how much stoppage time will we get? Muckett punches. Ream shifts it away. Now here's Rampersad. Long shot again from Jones. Scored a free kick, not necessarily that far out, but from a similar angle and a lengthy distance as well in the 57th minute that has Trinidad and Tobago on top. The Soca Warriors have only won 3 times against the Americans, but all 3 of those times have come in Trinidad and Tobago. '90th minute now. Balogun. De La Torre. Here's Scally. Slings it along to the corner. Tillman makes it a corner kick. The U.S. want to make a change, and they will do so now. And indeed, Maloney will come in for his second cap. There's 3 minutes of stoppage time indicated there as well. So Maloney will come in the first minute of stoppage time for De La Torre. Maloney, who plays in Germany with Heidenheim. Aronson and Tillman will play pitch and catch. And now perhaps that was taken too quickly. I have to imagine at this point we'll play more than that minimum 3 minutes. Aronson waiting for the go-ahead. Gets clearance. And now Tillman will be able to go right back into his work. Tillman gets past the defender. Malik Tillman sends it through. There's nobody standing on the top of the 6. Americans more than content with just defending. Carter Vickers sends it right back along the sideline for a throw. And the United States, in a year in which they've been excellent, be able to punch a ticket to Copa America, but questions will be surrounding this team, if not for a scoring surge in a 3-minute window that is unlike anything that the United States has seen. So Ross Russell in for Andre Raymond. This could be a much different story for the United States. Very fortunate to be here right now, thanks to the Magic that were in those boots at the tail end of the first leg. We're in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Winners of the quarterfinal legs will advance to the finals in March, those to be played in Dallas. To determine the semifinal pairings, they'll be ranked 1 through 4 based on quarterfinal results. Most points facing the national team that accumulates the least points. 1v4 and then 2v3 from there. So as it stands, the U.S. would have these 3 points in the bag. But that would be all. And perhaps that would make things quite interesting moving into the semifinals. Anthony Robinson tosses. Can't be much more time left now. Trinidad and Tobago have never scored 3 or more goals against the U.S. They needed 5 once the U.S. scored here tonight. And there's your full-time whistle. The United States have punched their ticket to Copa America and are on to the semifinals. Trinidad and Tobago win tonight, but the U.S. advances on aggregate thanks to a 3-0 win in the first leg. For the U.S., not necessarily always the most decisive or dominating night. It was a great opening half hour, but the red card against Sergiño Dest allows Trinidad and Tobago to beat the U.S. for a second consecutive U.S. trip to Trinidad and Tobago. And now the U.S. will settle up for a semifinal matchup yet to be determined in Dallas in March. Panama and Costa Rica kickoff is about 20 minutes away. We'll have all that action for you here on these very networks. Thanks so much for tuning in. For our entire crew tonight, it is Trinidad and Tobago 2. The United States won, but Trinidad and Tobago fails to advance the U.S. into the semifinals. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Michael Watring saying good night, everybody.